first couple of seconds, and instantaneously you know that everything has bloom on everything. The colors are washed out. It's extremely light. Now, granted, it's gonna get night, but still, you get the point. The colors are washed in. It kind of looks a little bit strange.
Our goal: confront the evil, corrupting paradise. This is Dead Tree.
And this is where things instantaneously go off the rails, okay? The previous cast, they were also teens and whatnot, so you know, you kind of expect a millennial look and whatnot. You know, you expected stuff like this, even though here they look like reasonable, adorable humans for the most part. But this... Bro, what is this guy doing? Is he running from debt collectors because he took out a loan to buy a car that he can't even drive properly? What are we talking about here? Like, they were teens before, but this is literally just zoom. Absolutely. And the thing is, look at this. Look at the graphics. This is fucking horrible. This is absolutely horrible. Look at this. This was the old stuff. Look at how these characters looked. It looked good. Okay? We're talking about a 10-year-old game at this point or something like that. It's not even comparable. And now we get this? Yeah, people are pretty upset, needless to say. The fact that this looks like, I don't know, The Sims from 2003. It's bad.
True. International.
Yeah, all the cat. Like, look at this hair. It's glued on. Bruv. Like, look at this. This is the previous counterpart. Look at this. And look at this. How is this such an absolutely massive downgrade? How did they do this? It seems absolutely impossible. And also the trailer is so poorly done because the audio is just fucked on this thing, honestly. The music is too loud, you can't hear the characters in some places. Like, everything about this is scuffed.
Thanks.
Look at this. Hassan Piker literally found his soulmate. His head is small. Her head is 5 times larger than required. Like, what the fuck is this?
Come on, let's get a photo together.
Over! Rotated on that one.
A for effort, dude.
Who's the buff idiot?
Does no one know this guy?
This is how villains are made.
Oh, you two haven't met yet, right?
Sebastian, I'll be looking out for you. Roland, whenever you're ready.
This facility has been shut down for decades. Uninvestigated, untold, until now.
Yeah, there's a lot of zoomer looking things.
Did you hear that?
Don't worry, just use her head as a shield. It will deflect any attack. It literally, you can't miss.
Nate, are you out there? We gotta go. Right!
I have a bad feeling.
Let's get rid of it.
Grip it tight.
Go! He's coming! Through there!
Take a deep breath.
Yeah, I'm gonna, you know, maybe it's copyright, I have no idea. It's not, it's just, by the way, I love the option here. Push. That's absolutely hilarious, I have to say. Well, needless to say, that's not gonna end well. Everyone kind of could predict that one. In any case, people are questioning it so much. Now, granted, there is a chance that this turns out well. I'm not gonna lie, there is a chance this turns out well. But it kind of doesn't seem like it, honestly. Maybe the story is interesting enough and whatnot because there's some mystery, like, clearly that guy is not there. This looks like your almost casual, attractive female, even though the body proportions on everything seem wrong. Like, this hand, bro, it's thicker than mine. What are we talking about here? Listen, what the hell is this? Absolute, what are we doing? Like, this. This is just beautiful. Okay, absolutely hilarious. Is he high or something? Like, who knows? Anyway, it's not looking good. Okay, and people are kind of calling it out because this is the comparison. Okay, well, look, this is the comparison.
First game released 12 years ago. Look at the announcement trailer from Gamescom 2014 on the top. When this game dropped, it was easily one of the best looking games of its time. It actually looks incredible.
Yeah, it's not only the fact that it looked good, but the fact that, again, this is such a downgrade in looks.
Just like in the trailers. But man, look at the Until Dawn 2 trailer at the bottom. It's, I don't know, it feels...
Yeah, it's just off. It does not look good enough. Now, granted, again, I don't think there's a chance that this is actually a decent story, even though we have Zoomer-esque characters. Well, in these situations, though, you have to look on the positive. If it's an annoying Zoomer character, you can get them killed, which is great. 10 out of 10 on that one, honestly. So there's positives on this one. But in general, look at this. Almost 1 million views. Almost. Like, it is not even close. Look, what the fuck is this? This is a tragedy. I'm gonna use this as a thumbnail, potentially. This is an absolute tragedy. How is this possible? Okay? The Zoomer-esque aesthetics of this, and everyone, by the way, if you look at what people are in general just saying about this, it's not looking good. Let me tell you, it's not looking good. It looks like there's a lot of problems here. People are not exactly super interested in this so far. Now, granted, I do think this could be a hidden success. Maybe. My chair's completely fucked, as always. But I did think this could be a potentially not bad game, honestly. Even because it has the superficious things about it, okay? This type of scenes, obvious dumb problems. But maybe when you get to the scary parts of it, or the action parts, or whatever you want to call it, maybe it actually is good. Now, maybe I'm just unreasonably hopeful in this case for apparently no reason. But maybe it's possible. Who honestly knows at the end of the day? Anything can happen, right? But yeah, it's not looking good. It's really not looking good. Like, the graphics, like, my god, what are we doing? How did we get here? How did we really get here? In any case, people are not exactly happy Until Dawn. Now, granted, the trailer doesn't have any real negatives about it. They're all just saying it's just a prelude, blah blah blah, about the pushing and whatever, but that's pretty much it. People are not being really negative in the comment section here, which is kind of rare, I guess. But then again, this has 73k views 2 days and only 2k upvotes, which means maybe GameSpot just curates their comment section. I have no idea if they do that, but it's not a lot of likes, okay? I don't know the dislikes, I don't have the extension or whatever, but this is definitely not a lot of likes. Especially for something that is kind of considered a cult classic of gaming, honestly. Yeah, so... I mean, overall, maybe it has potential, but overall, I think it's too risky to give it too much of a shake, Anyway, thanks for watching, have a nice day, bye!
to be the Shaft. Love, Anonymous. Again, I don't want to mention it. And then he mentioned what he sent me, which is a very nice gift, which again, I don't want to identify because later on I will be promoting this gentleman for other reasons. And so it is the unknown tomb, or the unknown soul, tomb of the unknown soldier. And I wanted to use this as an opportunity because forget if you got a gun in your mouth, right? You're thinking of ending it first. Take my philosophy that, okay, if it's come to this, you think you're going to end it, or you think that's an option, at least try everything else in life. Why? Because the alternative is or death. Cake or death? Like, really, there was the news article. This is almost 15 years ago. The guy was thinking of ending it. So he says, before I end it, I'm going to go get, I think grab 15 grand. He went and spent a month in Mexico, did a bunch of drugs and banged some cures. And then when he got back, he's like, well, maybe life ain't that bad. I mean, really, anything. Like, before you go, because that's it. It's over, man. You're not going to see Jesus. You're not going to see God. You're not going to like the angel. You're not going to see the devil. You just might. I'll give you something even scarier than hell. Nothing. That's it. You're not even sentient to be around to acknowledge hell. That's worse. That's what really scares me is like, no, you don't even get to go down and hang out with Lucifer. It's over. Your observation, your ability to recognize and see, I see myself, and talk to you, it's over. Your thought, your brain goes away, and that was it. And what point and purpose it served in the universe, I don't know, but it's pretty fucking precious to me. And get me started. Well, what I'd like to do, man, could kill all day, and his job still wouldn't be done. I would do a million things before I end it. And times are real bad. Don't you get me wrong. Oh, yeah, there's times where as an economist, you do perhaps more clinically. Like, is it really worth going? This is fucking tiring. This is bullshit. I never had a gun in my mouth, but I got think about grabbing a gun and putting it in other people's mouths. But then I said, nope, I'm hopping a train and going to Glacier. And here we are 20 years later about. So there's that argument. But when you said, what was it? I am now not confused with what I did wrong in relationships. I put myself at the bottom. That is probably the cause of all depression among all people, and that is lies, the wrong information. Why are millennials depressed and angry and sad? Because they were lied to about literally everything and certainly the most important things in life, yet you still all continue to suck the dick of Barack Obama and make Karl Marx your Lord and Savior. That's a different thing. That when you are lied to about everything, not only are you wasting your time, your value system is based on something that is not true, right? You girls are running into this now. We're being a girl boss, insufferable bitch and mean and corporatism and the bag and all that. You're finding out that that's a lie. And that makes you depressed. That's why you girls are all on antidepressants, because you don't have love, because you're not in physical shape. Couldn't find a man that you'd like to bang and fall in love with. You didn't have kids. Generally speaking, not always. But you were lied to. So not only did you waste your time, the thing that you got now isn't making you happy.
It's gonna pay the price.
Your value system is wrong. Your value system should give you at least satisfaction and accomplishment in life, ideally happiness as well. Who are hot, thin, obedient, and quiet. Shh. Go work and pay some more time. Get another master's degree. Shut the fuck up. But men, I think, so everyone, it's the lies. Where not only do you find out you're wasting your time and all of that effort you put into it was wasted, but what you value the most was never going to deliver you contentment, satisfaction, or accomplishment, let alone love or happiness. With men, it's even worse in one other regard, because it's not a coincidence that you had a gun in your mouth due to a woman, because you got genetics. Men are programmed to adore women because we want to have sex with them. That's as simple as we're not interested in your... I mean, a girl can be great and amazing. You actually fall in passionate love. That's amazing. That's wonderful. You don't want kids. Oh, fuck. Fuck, man. Why you go to ruin it? But genetically, you're just programmed to really want women and really enjoy sex. And then you do everything for women. And especially the past 40 years, it's been, oh, women are your God. You should bow down and you're horrible. And I mean, Lutherans and Christians in general, and sin and guilt and shame, it really correlates, kind of correlates with how male-female dynamic. Men are horrible, forever sin. Women are Jesus. They're the perfect beings. And you're supposed to get married. What did you do wrong? Well, if that, then there's something must be wrong. I think maybe this is the video you watch. I don't think it is.
Welcome back, guys. So last year I reacted to this woman that was 39 and was invisible to men. Now she's 40, guys, so let's see how she's doing now.
So you all know I'm always complaining about being single because I am single. We all know Hinge sucks. I hate the dating apps. As a woman who just turned 40, I feel like my face is melting. I feel like I don't have time to waste. I cannot do a 9-to-5 for much longer. Like, am I crazy? Am I overthinking all of this? I feel like I am losing my mind. If I'm being truly honest with myself, I'm so unhappy. I deleted Hinge, and let me tell you, I feel so much better. Yesterday when I was walking to the subway, the homeless man on the street said, "Hey, gorgeous, give me $1. And if I had $1, I would have given it to him. That's the first compliment I've heard in a very long time, and that's how low the bar is.
Guys, you know she's down bad when she only gets compliments from homeless guys.
I am always talking about being single. I'm chronically single, and like, the reason why I'm chronically single is basically because I don't think that I can ever trust a man. So, as a single woman, something that really sounds like that is not really someone who's not you know what?
Well, let me know down in the comments, guys, why do you think she's still single at 40? But you all know there is something going on with her if she couldn't find a guy until 40, guys. By the way, guys, I'm giving you a warning. The next 5-6 minutes will be a hard watch. You need brain cells. I know I lost a lot of brain cells, so you've been warned.
What's your biggest ick in a guy?
I'm gonna say if they're like really nice. It's such a This is the height difference I deserve.
What's your biggest ick?
I don't like when men know how to cook, because why do you know how to cook?
What is a red flag that you hate about men?
No money.
Your biggest red flag in a guy?
When he's one of the boys.
So he just can't have any mates?
Guys who are like too good at sex kind of gives me an ick.
Tying laces, it's actually vile, it's absolutely vile. Can't think of anything worse.
I could find a man really, really, really hot, and the second he sends me an Instagram reel, you're done.
The type of men you want to avoid are men who are born on their birthday. Avoid them like the plague, because they will ruin your life.
Right, what's your biggest ick?
Okay, so might be a bit rogue, but when a boy gets hit by like a slow-moving car.
I hate when men are like, oh, she was easy. Like, Dada.
It was only easy for you. You just knew how to give it down.
I'm in a car.
Even if that's true, man, why does the next guy have to wait so long if you gave it so fast to the other guy?
With a man, and this man doesn't speed, like not once. I find that an ick.
What's the biggest ick?
Oh,
fishing?
Yeah, fishing. You know when they post a photo on their Facebook of them with a fish? Why?
What gives you the ick?
Oh, boys who shower in, like, with their bare feet.
Nani?
I mean, just seeing boys in...
I told you, you will lose brain cells. I think I need a break after this video.
The shower bare feet, like, it just gives me the ick.
Once a guy using an electric toothbrush at my house. Like, he was banned after that. Like, he used an electric toothbrush, like a male using an electric toothbrush. Oh my god, that's just gross. That's so weird.
But if a man has like a smaller car, like a little Porsche or something, I swear to God, a man with a Porsche asked me on a date and I said no because I was like, there's no way you're not gay. Like, you're gay.
There is nothing
Gay. He's the problem, not me.
more icky than watching a guy walk out of Starbucks with a Frappuccino in his hand, like sipping on his green straw. Oh my gosh.
Just thought of a new ick. Don't know if it's an ick or a red flag or just something that makes me question if I'm actually attracted to men at all. If they play games on their phone or a game on their phone and it requires their phone to go sideways.
I've just unlocked a new ick. Tell me why. I was just at the dog park and I met the cutest guy. He had the sweetest little dog, but in the middle of our conversation, he started screaming his dog's name, calling him 5-10 times. And I don't know why, but in that moment, he just became so unattractive to me. Ugh.
New ick unlocked. Why the heck I just go get some ice cream, right? I get my ice cream. It's another guy in the store. He ordered his ice cream after me. Why the heck he get sprinkles on his? I ain't even get sprinkles on mine.
Stop responding so fast, please. It's such an ick to me. I'm 22. I'm entering the dating world, I guess. I text you, you respond in 0.3 seconds, and then I take, I don't know, a nice comfortable 2 hours or so to respond, maybe a little less, and then you respond again 0.3 seconds later. Like, that, it just feels so, like, desperate to me.
There's just some... And at 30, guys, she will make another video saying we're all the good men. Why does Chad wait 3 hours to text me? Of course.
Something about men sleeping in that I can't stand. As a man, why are you still asleep? I could be outside mowing the lawn. So I just cannot, I don't know.
She's saying that while recording on her couch, laying down. Okay.
Wake up, why are you all dainty still laying in bed?
The worst text to send a girl. The morning text. Good morning, sweetheart. How are you doing? Hope you slept well. You're basically saying you're a simp. That text is not masculine. That is not a good text. It shows needy. It just shows that, like, oh, I was thinking about...
Just shows that you like toxic men that don't care about you. That's why you're not used to morning texts. I told you guys, you're going to lose brain cells.
About you, and I was hoping your morning was going well. That's not what you want to come across as.
This is a message to every man. Girls don't like it when you react to their text message with a thumbs up emoji. It's rude.
What's not meant for you will disappoint you 1,000 times. Not because you don't deserve better, not because you didn't see the signs. Sometimes life tests us with the same cycles, the same patterns, and the same letters.
Can you see the pain in my eyes, guys? Another woman talking nonsense just to avoid accountability because she doesn't know how to choose a good man.
These men who are going around saying that they want peace, they do not create peaceful environments for women. So how are you going around saying you want peace?
And who's more chaotic? Who's more emotional? A man or a woman? The woman. But who is more peaceful? And just by the way that you talk,
The
and your
humans
nails,
seek
your
always
gloves,
to
I
claim
know
more
that
ground.
you're a woman that brings chaos, man, in every relationship.
I have identified a region.
You're just an avoidant. You're an avoidant. You don't want conflict. You don't want to have to navigate conflict. You don't want to have to deal with...
Why would a man want conflict in a relationship, in a marriage? Why, ma'am? He has enough conflict at work. He wants to come home to a loving wife, a peaceful home. Not you. Just going to skip this video because it's very stupid.
My favorite thing about men is they will literally beg and plead with a woman, like, please, I've changed. Please, let's get back. Please let me back. Like, I'm better now. And then when the woman doesn't let them back in, they'll walk around to other people and talk about that same woman and be like, I don't even bug with her, man.
Exactly the same with women, ma'am. When a woman gets rejected, she will tell her friends, oh my god, that guy wanted something with me. Oh, so icky. But she was the one that wanted his number. That's exactly what women do, ma'am.
She's a hoe. she's fucking chopped. Like, I don't even know what I was doing, man, you know? Like, I don't even want that. Like, no, like, that was a mistake.
At least men don't talk like you. Why are you talking like that? You're talking bad about men, but you don't see yourself and how insufferable you are. You act like a child, man. You talk like a child. So why would a man want you? I'm telling you to your face that you shouldn't be in a relationship. No man should ever want to be with you in a relationship. I'm telling it to your face, ma'am, not behind your back. We're just going to skip this video because it's very stupid.
The next man who gets me in a relationship with him is going to be a very fucking lucky man. If you met me last year, you would not have been very lucky. It's been 2 years and I'm healed finally. I'm healed! I'm healed and now I just need a healed fucking man.
How are you healed, man, when you swear like a sailor? How are you healed?
To match me.
To match me? I'm fucking healed. How are you healed, ma'am? You're very masculine by the way that you talk. How are you healed? A woman that is healed should be in her feminine. Should be a very feminine, loving woman.
I'm just a fucking great girlfriend. Like, I'm spontaneous, I cook, I clean, I've got my own money. Like, I can treat you. I'll get you really nice birthday presents. I buy food.
I'm such a great girlfriend. I buy food.
Give great cuddles. Give great. Anybody? Anybody?
Men over 50 are almost twice as likely as women to marry, like, out of the West. So these guys are literally, they've exhausted their options in the West, or in their town, or in their city, or even in their country, and they're expanding their dating map. So what's actually even more interesting is that guys are actually they're starting younger doing this too. So like guys who are in their 20s and 30s are like, I'm not even gonna start like dating in my community. I'm gonna look abroad first, which is kind of insane to me. Like, you gotta test the waters first before you even go out there.
Why, man? Why do you need to test the waters? Why do you need to spend years of your life in a relationship that didn't go anywhere? Why? I did that, man, and it's not fun. But I didn't have YouTube back then, man. I didn't have channels like mine to show me the actual truth, man.
I had a full roster for years before I met my husband. I always get asked, did you have to date a lot before you met your husband? And the answer is yes. We all have to date a lot. It's a numbers game, and it's experience.
You don't, man. You can find a good guy when you're in your prime, in your 20s. You don't have to wait till you're 30-something to find a guy. When you have over 100 bodies, man. Just think about the old saying, you can't turn a hoe into a housewife. And she proves it. Why? Because she went online, even though she has a husband, and she started saying, oh my God, I had such a big roster before finding my husband. So you're practically letting everybody know that you were a hoe, and that guy is a simp, a big simp. So any guy that wants to date a woman like this, think twice before dating a woman like this or marrying a woman like this. Because once a hoe is always a hoe.
Experience, okay? So in order for you to know what you want and what you don't want, you have to play the game.
Yes, you have to ride 100 dicks.
You have to kiss a lot of toads to get your Prince Charming.
Yes,
was it
yes.
fun? No, it wasn't fun. But you know what? We all have to go through it. And some women get lucky, and it's maybe a few guys that they have to, date in order to find their one.
And others maybe are hoes, and they have to wait till they're 35 and find a simp.
Guys, I'm out for young size. But guys, I think I generally need an old guy. Because
what did you expect, ma'am? Did you expect a younger guy to take you seriously, to marry you? This is what I'm telling you, but women say I'm a misogynist. Younger men just want a good time with you. They just want to gain experience with you.
Because the stuff I want to do in life is not the stuff that people my age are doing. Like, I don't want to be out drinking all the time. I want to experience nice things. I also want to work. I want to invest in businesses. I want to make generational wealth. I want to put my name on the map. Like, and guys my age, they're just not on that. Like, they're not. And the
Okay, so guys her age don't have enough money. That's what she's trying to tell us.
the ones that are never out because they're the same as me. Like, we just want to stay in and put our heads down. So I generally feel like I need an older guy. I need a guy who's lived his life, who's kind of got a bit going for him, has his own, lets me his own level-headed, can teach me something. I think that's generally what I'm on right now, and I'm not dating for six packs and looks. I'm dating for
money. Yes, we know, ma'am. You're a gold digger.
I made a date in the calendar that if I wasn't with someone, I was going to freeze my eggs. At 35, 36, I woke up and I'm like, oh boy, I want a family. And
She didn't think about this when she was in her 20s. She focused on college, on career, on anything else but a man. And now all of a sudden we're all the good men. They're back in your 20s, man.
And that was really hard. I think my mom was like, wait, when is this gonna happen? Dr. Michelle was like, listen, you're fine. And I was like, I know, but I'm not dating anybody, I'm not married. She wrote down go take you up through the top, no one will see you, and maybe Dr. Shane's video. So I visit him, we do the blood work, and so he spins around and goes, what we can do is we can buy you sperm, and I'm like, wait, I am not losing embryos. And I kind of looked at him, I'm like, do you not think I'm gonna meet someone?
Yes, ma'am. He has so many patients exactly like you that he knows the chances of you meeting somebody at your age are very low. Finally, somebody telling the truth.
It's okay to have an insurance.
If you're wondering if she's serious about you, and you ask her to hang out all the time, and she always says that she's too busy, she's always too busy to make time for you, then she does not care about progressing the relationship.
This is how you know when a woman truly likes you. She wants to spend all of her time with you. She texts you non-stop. She wants to see you. She wants to hang out with you. If she doesn't care, if she's nonchalant, if she's cold, she doesn't really care about you. She probably has another guy that she's not nonchalant with. Another guy that she meets, that's why she doesn't have time for you.
Or seeing you, or if that you're interested. No girl is too busy to make time for something that she actually cares about and she sees a future with.
All of the women saying, oh, you need to be nonchalant, you have to wait 3 days before texting him. When she truly likes you, she forgets everything. She forgets everything, guys.
Even in my busiest times of my life, I still manage to make time for the relationship.
Of course.
Even if it's just an hour a day, or you come and spend the night, or it doesn't matter. Like, you work while you're with that person. Like, if you really genuinely care about that person, you want to see them, and you're actually you will be friends.
I'm totally single right now. Actually, I lost 3 really handsome men because of the podcast.
Wait, say that again?
I lost 3 handsome men because of the podcast.
Yes!
If you don't know, I featured her in a previous video saying this, guys. This is why she lost the man in her life.
Women should not be rejected because of her weight. You say that. Why is that? Help me
Can't
out.
just reject women because of the face or the weight.
So let me just remind you a few of your positions.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to date Chinese men. You don't want to date men with small penises. You will only date men. In fact, it's not just that. You think men who are below 5'11", 180 centimeters are not real men. Wait, so you're saying you were dating 3 guys? Were these the guys you were sleeping with, Tina?
No.
You were sleeping with some of them?
Only one.
One of them.
Yeah.
The others you were using for money and attention. You lost 3 dudes because of the Whatever podcast.
Yes.
I think that's a W.
He texted me. He said, I watched some part of your podcast. I don't think you are the right person I want to meet with. So sorry.
Good for him, good for him.
Let me show you how nothing is real. Step number 1.
I had to speed it up, guys, because it's too long.
Womp. They were fake. Of course they were fake. Yeah, fake. Step number 2, get those out of my ass. Get out of my ass. Dang things. Dang little bang.
Remember, they say all men are ugly. They don't find men attractive. Well, they're wearing 10 tons of makeup.
All-time personal favorite step
and
right
false
here.
hair and everything like that. False eyelash, false everything. Nothing is real. But men are ugly.
Taking off the lash glue. Also another Ava favorite because it feels too dang good. And here's the finished look.
A lot of guys want to date a baddie, but there's not many that can actually handle a baddie. So just to
Ma'am, why would we want to be in a relationship with a woman that we need to handle? So stupid.
save you some time, I'm going to share with you a couple of things that a baddie does. And after this little pop quiz, if you're like, that is not appealing to me whatsoever, I can't handle that, then this is your sign to not go for baddies anymore. Again, I'm just trying to save you time, so stay with me. Number 1, baddies stay locked in with their fitness when it comes to going to the gym, Pilates, hot girl walks.
Hot girl walks, guys. Hot girl walks.
Baddies enjoy doing these things on a daily basis all the time and are consistent with it. So if that's something that's not appealing to you, Number 2, it's the baddie way of life. Baddies are not high maintenance.
What the fuck am I listening to? The baddie way of life, guys. I swear I lost so many brain cells in this video, guys.
I don't really think of it in that way. I think it's a way of life. If taking care of yourself, the way you look, your hair, your nails, if that's so crazy, then you're dating in the wrong realm.
No, ma'am, that's not crazy. Taking care of yourself is a good thing. What I don't like is when you take care of yourself in a certain way that screams attention. I want attention from as many men as possible, so in case the simp I'm with leaves or something happens, I can get another one very quickly. Hot girl walks. Baddie lifestyle. Do you hear yourself, ma'am? You can take care of yourself in a modest way, ma'am. Without screaming, I'm a 304. We're just going to skip this video, guys, because I already lost too many brain cells. Too many, guys.
I'm going to read off a profile and an exchange that illustrates a situation that I've run into quite a few times. Female, mid-30s, based in the US, physician, average looking in my opinion. I've worked hard and spent my 20s and early 30s and focused on building my career. I earn in a higher range of 6 figures. One of my non-negotiables is that I need my partner to earn just as much or more than me. I do not want to be the breadwinner in the family, nor for my partner to rely on my income. I would like the option of being able to stay at home with my children without it affecting the lifestyle that I'm used to.
If you wanted to stay at home, if you wanted to be a stay-at-home mother, why didn't you find a guy in your 20s, ma'am? Why did you focus on your career? If you don't want to continue with your career, you want to be a stay-at-home wife. Why? So stupid, guys. They have no logic. No logic. I bet she spent her 20s building her career, and now she's tired. She's tired of working all day. She wants to find a nice guy, a guy that takes care of her. A guy that allows her to be at home.
Fury of the Suns! He does not have to be a physician. It could be any profession, as long as he earns more than me.
Try a homeless guy, ma'am.
I would also like for him to be tall and have hair on his head. She also made reference to the fact that she's been unasked and is jaded by the whole process. And...
okay, so she already hates men. Oh, such a bonus, such a catch, guys, such a catch.
She also lists a bunch of other deal breakers, including expectations of responsiveness and physical turnaround. She's only willing to consider someone 5 years younger or 3 years older. Now, this is a hard match to make, and it's not just because I don't collect salary information, and I just don't have that data point, but it's also because of the type of people she's looking at. I found that men who are high earners fall into 2 buckets. The first bucket is that they don't really care what the profession or career prospects or earning potential their partner has. They just want someone who's very pretty, very young, or very traditional.
We don't care about your money. A guy that makes a lot of money doesn't care about your money. And she's a matchmaker and she's a woman saying that. So how can I be a woman hater, a misogynist for saying the same thing?
and someone who's going to stay at home. The second bucket is where they do value someone's career and education and prospects, but that's because they usually want them to be financially.
The more money you have as a man, the less you care about her money.
So that their lifestyle can be elevated. Now, she is career-driven and high-earning, and because of that, she believes she deserves someone who is similarly career-driven and high-earning. But the irony is that the very reason that that person would choose them, she has negated by essentially saying that she wants her income to remain optional. So I sent her a message. I was reviewing your profile for matches in a couple of things. Your profile reads as terse and somewhat harsh. I'd advise you to soften it.
Fury of the
Suns. Preferences in the notes section for my reference. Also, I do not collect salary information. The best I can do is share candidates with listed professions with high earning potential. But further, your situation is a bit of a paradox. You want someone who matches your high earning power. However, a man who values this quality will likely want financial contribution, which is something you're not interested in doing. I can do my best to share matches that may align, but I did want to share my assessment of why this may have felt like a difficult process and why it may be difficult to come across matches. So I shared 2 matches. One she declined because she said that based on his profession, she's sure that she makes at least double what he does. And the second declined her due.
But remember, guys, they just want a nice guy. They just want an emotionally intelligent guy. They just want a funny guy.
Fury of the Suns.
Of course, of course.
To attraction.
Hope you enjoyed this video, guys, and I'll see you on the next one.
The stars serve.
"6 months. That's how long it took me to scrape together 1,300 subscribers. And then, out of nowhere, a new gen 21-year-old starts a brand new Hype Pill channel, just like mine, makes his first video, and in 1 week, he's already surpassing me. Don't get me wrong, I'm not angry at him. He's got every right to do what he's doing, but it broke me, and I need to explain why. Imagine being in my shoes. I've made 28 videos. Each of them take me about 15 hours to make and post. I have turned every aspect of video creation into a minute, precise science. I have 6 years of social media marketing experience under my belt, and all that has culminated into where I'm at right now. My first ever real job was search engine optimization. And since then, I have consistently used that knowledge throughout my life. I'm a published author. I've read countless books on the art of storytelling and marketing. I think strategically about what storytelling techniques to use in what video. I've observed and studied the techniques of storytelling greats like Mr. Ballin. It's been a slow, painful climb. I've had to sacrifice all my free time. I haven't played video games in almost 3 months. I haven't hung out with any friends. That's 6 months of grind and sacrifice. So imagine how I feel when one day, one of my close followers and friends sends me a link to a video and says, "Hey, this new YouTuber is making a channel a lot like yours," so I go to check it out. It's a tier list video about short guy copes. But I see that he's got already 800 views in less than a day of his first video. And I remember when I first started, My first 4 videos only had 5 views for the first month. It took me 8 videos to get over 100. Up till that point, I felt like I was one of the only guys on YouTube in this space. And when I performed poorly, it didn't hurt me that badly because I thought, well, I don't really have too many people to compare myself to. And I thought my experience of that slow grind at the beginning was a universal thing. I mean, still, after 28 videos in 6 months, I haven't had a single video get over 10,000 views. I've always had a problem with envy ever since I was 8 years old. It's an unchangeable, integral part of my personality. And because I know all too well how it affects my mental health, I did the best I could to get it out of my mind and not look at it ever again. So a couple days later, I'm on TikTok and I see that very same guy, Great Tall Immortal, watching my TikTok stories, and he had followed me. So I was like, okay, I'll follow him back. And to my shock and horror, his first 3 TikToks, the lowest amount of views he got, 8,000. Other one, 20,000. 200,000. It took me 6 months of grinding on TikTok as well to reach a point even close to that, and he's already surpassing me on views he's getting regularly on TikTok as well. And you know what's fucked? I had the same idea when I started YouTube. You know how it worked out for me? I get under 2,000 views on every single clip I put out. I used captions, I add on-screen text, I use the right hashtags, I add a description. I do everything I can. So when I realized that my YouTube clips were never gonna get any views on TikTok, I started to have to think outside the box and make TikTok original content. So he gets 200K views on his TikTok, and all those people head over to his YouTube channel. I just wanted to pretend this wasn't happening. Because if you know me, I've talked about this before in other videos. When someone who's much younger than me tries to do something extremely similar to what I'm doing and immediately just catapults into success, that is my #1 trigger for a major depressive episode. But anytime I'd start to climb out of my hole, God or the universe wants to remind me that my life is a punishment and stomp me back down into the ground. So the other day, I was looking at my analytics for my latest failing video. I saw that it appeared in a playlist. I was scrolling through it, and then I see his video. Just out of pure random chance, the universe just decided to rub it in my face.
Look at you, you're an aging failure. You're gonna be 30 years old with nothing to show for it, and your decade of hard work is all for nothing.
That's what I imagine God saying when I see that this guy, yesterday, after 1 week, had 14,000 views on his first video. So one of the things I tried to tell myself is, okay, he got lucky. I'm a very unlucky person. I have to work my ass off for every single thing I do, to the point where I've become chronically exhausted and reached the point of burnout. Imagine how it feels to try, and try, slamming your head against the wall, grinding away for years, all because I just want to have a positive influence on the future of humanity. I want to have a greater purpose. But I guess God, or the universe, doesn't want that. God doesn't want me to make the world a better place. The thing about most people is that when they succeed, especially when they have easy, quick success at something, their ego really is quick to attribute it to their own skills, their own knowledge, and their own hard work. But when people really try their damn best, and they have all the knowledge, and they put the work in, and after years of grinding, they still get nowhere, that's when people start to realize, hey, luck plays more of a role in my life than I thought. So this morning, I took another look at this guy's channel. I see that he's got another video from this week, and it completely disproved my idea that the first one was just a lucky fluke, because it's already got almost 3,000 views after less than 24 hours. My video, from about the same time, 600 views. Now, I had a conversation with the guy last night because he saw my TikTok crash out. And I came to the conclusion that he's definitely a good, nice guy, but we did have one key philosophical difference in how we view the world. He believes that luck plays only a small role in success. And he told me that the reason that he succeeded so quickly is that he just understands the algorithm more. And a few other people told me that too. They said, you need to study the algorithm more. And I swear to God, like, my blood pressure spiked when I read that. For all the people that told me that. Because it's just such a slap in the face. I've studied all the algorithms in depth. I keep up to date at the cutting edge of all the changes and updates. So to have somebody 8 years younger than me tell me, just get good, bro. All I can think of is, damn, I wish that you would know what it's like. Because it seems like years of failure and suffering are the only way for human beings to be taught humility. If you know what that's like, you know how I feel. Now, if it's somebody older than you and more experienced, it's not really even close to as mentally destructive as it is when someone who's still got their whole life ahead of them, time to enjoy the status and to reap the benefits. I'm getting older. Women in my age group reaching their 30s, they aren't just gonna accept a guy just because he has a pretty face, especially when he's 5'3.5" like me. You gotta be status maxed too. And a standard wage slave 9 to 5 doesn't really cut it when it comes to making up for that low status aura that short guys have. Especially considering that short guys are at a severe disadvantage when it comes to climbing the corporate ladder and the social ladder. So I wanted to do something independent. I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I wanted to be a content creator. Because the reality is, if I stay the broke loser that I am, or I give up and accept defeat and just get a wage slave 9 to 5 job and live paycheck to paycheck, I am doomed to be single for the rest of my life. Like, pretty much my only hope for meeting the woman of my dreams is fame. Because otherwise, they're so damn rare, they won't even know who I am. So when I see someone who's 21 years old, and I'm pushing 30, having easy success, have a bright future ahead of him, God only knows where he's going to be at by the time he's my age, I'm going to be bald. I'm going to lose all my looks before I even come close to that point. And every one of you watching can rest assured and know that I know what it's like. To give credit where it was due, the guy was pretty nice to me over message, and he seemed to have some empathy for my plight. I mean, who wouldn't? It's every ambitious person's worst nightmare to be in my situation. Pushing 30, still living in their childhood room, having sacrificed their entire 20s, working their ass off to accomplish something in life with specific goals in mind. Reach a point where they realize that making a YouTube channel will be the only way that they can possibly crawl out of this rut, only to have that same persistent bad luck and misfortune follow them into that too. And then watch somebody much, much younger than them just walk right in and achieve everything they've been trying to accomplish. I don't know about you, but that's my personal hell. And it has become reality. Now, the guy referenced me in his YouTube video, and I did get a little bit offended. And when I rewatched it, I realized it wasn't that bad. But at the same time, it's like, I'm 9 years older than I was when I said what I said. Come on, I know better now. Oh my God, you are tall, you're intelligent, you're attractive. You're basically Mustache Man's ideal woman. And I just looked at her and smiled.
Like, dude, I mean, you can't be fucking calling them that, man. Oh my goodness, bro. Again, no hate to Chadlet Maxing, you know. It takes a lot of courage to share a story like that. But, you know, this is the type of thing I'm trying to warn you guys against.
The other thing I disagreed with is that he said that my whole thing for tall women is just a useless cope. Basically saying that I shouldn't objectify them.
Our second cope on the list is a tall girl. Okay, I'm gonna put this ad useless. If a tall girl were to find out that you have a genuine fetish for them, they'd probably feel, you know, dehumanized and repulsed. Please do not compliment them like how Chadlet Maxing did.
Just doesn't really feel like the most based thing to say. Because in reality, if a woman finds you really attractive, they're gonna like that you find them attractive in return. So what about you? Have you ever been like me and felt that you've truly done well, but the world hasn't rewarded it? If you know what that's like, let me know in the comments. This isn't just about YouTube. It's about life and the bitter brutality of the age pill. It's about what it's like to watch younger, less experienced people succeed in ways that you wanted for yourself, all while you're still grinding, with nothing much to show for it. If you've ever felt replaced, you'll know exactly what I mean. Now, yesterday morning, when I saw that his first video had actually reached 14,000 views after a week when I thought it was only at 1,000, and I had my giant metal breakdown and crash out on TikTok stories.
Fucking fair is that? How is that fair? That's... His channel is not any better than mine. It's a tier list video. A tier list video. And that gets 14,000 views. I've made 27 videos. I haven't even hit over 10K on a single one, and I put 20 hours of work in every fucking video.
Like, why should anyone watch me when I can just be replaced?
I was 100% convinced that this guy got lucky and that I deserved that success. That I'm older, more experienced, I put in the work, that should be me getting the 14,000 views. But then it really started to settle in for the rest of the day. And by the time I got home last night, I decided to give his video one more watch. And I can't help but acknowledge that the guy is talented. He knows all the right lingo, and all the right words to be hip and fit in with the new gen. He's got that gift of speaking. And I feel like I can do that too, but not when I'm talking to the camera and can see myself on the screen. I smoked weed every day from 14 to 22. I drank hard liquor every other day from 17 to 21. I've got ADHD, severe depression. I can't monologue on camera like that. I can't say exactly what I need to say all in one go. Down. Honestly, like, what do I have to offer the world? My brain is fucked up. I can barely speak. And this 21-year-old whose brain isn't even fully developed yet is already making me look like a fucking idiot. I don't have the ability to just rattle off the ideas in my head in a way that people will absorb and find entertaining. I can maybe say 1 or 2 sentences max before I need to sit there thinking about what the hell my next word is or what I'm gonna say, or preparing myself for what 15-minute tangent I'm gonna go on next. And I have to do so much editing and work on the back end. The uncomfortable truth is, it doesn't matter how nice my thumbnails are if his videos are better. What makes my videos so special that they stand out against his? I'm just an unlucky, aging loser with brain damage who's having a midlife crisis. My brain's not fast enough, I can't monologue smoothly, and as a result, I'm being replaced. The hype pill niche, especially on YouTube, isn't large enough to fit 2 creators. In haste. And apparently, I'm the one who's subpar, and it's reflecting in the numbers. This channel, these videos, were my last hope at having something worthwhile to offer the world. If someone else can that quickly step into the role that I've been trying to fill, like a puzzle piece, automatically fit into exactly what they've been looking for, and they think, wow, this Chadlet maxing guy, his videos suck by comparison. I don't have time to watch him. Now, those few of you out there who do like my content, please let me know. What is it that makes me special? Why should I keep doing this? Because I don't want to be redundant. I don't want to be some second-rate discount version of someone who's doing the exact same thing better than me. Some people tell me it's my storytelling that makes me stand out. But there's a couple problems with that. First of all, I will eventually run out of stories, probably in just about 6 months. The other problem with that is, I've noticed a pattern in my analytics. The videos that have gotten the most views were not storytelling videos. So if that's what makes me special and stand out, then the only thing I've got is something that people just aren't that interested in. I've slaved away for 6 years at my business. The fruits of my labors are nowhere to be seen. There's a pattern in my life. I must be cursed because, yet again, the fruits of my labor are nowhere to be seen. And it wouldn't be so bad if it was like that in isolation. If I just had to exist in that and just be uncertain of whether or not any of my videos would take off in the next year. But to have it proven to me that this niche can work and that someone else much younger and with a much sharper brain can do it better, then why am I even trying? So please, if you want me to keep making videos, please try to convince me in the comments. Explain to me what it is that makes me stand out specifically, that makes me different from him. I've got nothing against Great Tall Immortal. He seems like a nice guy. I don't want to stir up drama. That's not what this video is about. This video is about documenting my lived reality and my truth, the mental and spiritual anguish that I have experienced in this last week that you can hardly even imagine. It's to document the permanent record of the experience of suffering and struggle that I went through to grow this channel and to relate to and validate the experiences of all of those of you watching who have gone through anything similar. There are few pills more brutal than the age. If there's one thing that I've learned in my 29 years here on this planet, it's that life is unfair to the core. It's easy to tell others, well, you're just too negative and you brought it on yourself. People only ever fail because of their own shortcomings. But to know that you truly gave it your all, and you have all the right knowledge, and you have the work ethic, and you still have just as little to show for it as the guy who partied it all up and wasted his 20s. True wisdom and enlightenment only comes from those who have suffered and struggled to get where they are. Only then can you truly understand the dark, brutal reality of the universe. I don't know if this channel has a future. Maybe I'm already replaced, but I do know this. I've still got more I need to say before I'm done for good. And if you've ever felt behind or outpaced, you're not alone. Please share your stories in the comments. Next week, I'll be doing something a little bit different. I'll be doing a raw, unedited, full-length, real talk video about how it feels to end up a failure at 29 years old, the fear of turning 30, the pressure that the age pill puts on you, my plans for the future, and how to avoid ending up like me. So subscribe and turn on the notification bell to be notified of that. It'll be coming next Tuesday at 5:45 p.m. And for some more context on why my self-esteem is so fragile and why I'm so dependent on external validation, check out my video about what led to me being a stay-at-home son and not by choice.
You require this.
Thank you all for listening.
Some might describe such a spectacle.
Courtly gossip is not of... You have executed...
As is my duty,
Yet, I sense you share my dissatisfaction with the
flayed one.
The paucity of receipt...
I must counsel again.
Do not be bound by the conventions of our fallen lord, Vargard. Burdened by ever greater.
The convoy will be... Target the damaged.
With her trap sprung, the Vargard's force continued to perform for Jeffrey's
So I just received a message.
They fell upon the shocked convoy with a deadly swiftness.
These mega influencers with millions of followers are actually panicking. So what's going on? So I'm gonna have an influencer come on here that's trying to get back into the game, and she's like, there's just no money in it. I just can't do it. I'm gonna share some of my analytics and kind of go from there, because this industry of influencing, of being a content creator, is a very, very tough business. More people fail than not. And so it's really nice if you don't have to rely on that income. It's really nice if you can pick up another gig and then have this as a hobby, like I'm kind of doing. But there's a lot of people that think like, I have a 500,000 followers or 1.6 or 2 million followers, and I'm making a full-time living out of it. That's not 100% right, because when you look at how much YouTube pays, the money's not really there with the views. The money's there with sponsorships and selling stuff. That's where the money's at. So let's look at Monica Church. She has a YouTube channel that has, let's see how much. She has 1.6 million followers, and her latest videos, let's see what she's been doing. Her latest video, 5 months, got about 71,000 views. And 5 months ago, 56,000 views. And then she had 77,000 views, 58,000 views, 39,000. So you can kind of see that. And I had a video that made about, just the other day, that made about 43,000 views. And that paid me gross $200. I have it right here. So now you can kind of see what YouTube pays in the financial world, right? So if you want to make a full-time living out of YouTube, you need to have videos every day about 100,000 views a day. That's why all these big creators start another channel and another one, so they can constantly replicate and make more content, so they can get to probably $1,000 a day. Because after taxes and everything, you can then pay yourself a few $100 a day. But then also what happens is you've gotta chase virality, you've gotta chase clickbait. So let's hear her talk about what's going on in the industry.
I used to be a full-time influencer. At my peak, I was making like $500,000 a year doing it, and I threw it all away. I like fully quit, and I don't know, I maybe made like $1,000 a year last year doing it off like a little HelloFresh brand deal I did for fun. And I recently decided, you know, I really miss it. I want to try and do it again, pick it back up. Like, why not if I'm having fun with it? And a weekend, I remember why I quit now. I just posted my last videos. I feel like I put so much time and effort and strategy and, I don't know, hours. I think it's good content, and it's just Instagram, TikTok, they don't push it out to anyone. No one. Like, I have 180,000 followers on Instagram, and this post that I did, 4,000 views. Like, what is that? They don't even push it out to my followers, you know? And
punish them.
That's why I quit. It's just like, I can't do it with the putting in effort for something and not getting anything in return, and things being like so out of your control. All you can control is like trying to do your best, and then you put it out there and it flops, and I'm sad. I really do want to like make content again, but I can't do it with this. Like, I need some sort, I don't know, I need some sort of like gratification or small win and some success. I feel like, do people just think I'm boring and everything I post sucks?
So you're seeing it, she's like, what's wrong? I've put so much time and effort into it. The problem with these platforms that I tell this all the time to people is you're not in charge of your audience. Yeah, you can get your audience to sign up for a newsletter and then they can watch your newsletter. But if you're like on YouTube, there's like a bell notification. And if YouTube doesn't think like, ooh, this guy or this woman or whatever wants to see this type of content from this creator, they're just not gonna show it to you. And this is why these influencers and these stats are still a thing. Normally, if the platform was truly right, they would just pick the subscriber or the sub. If these platforms were truly transparent, they would say, you know what, these subscriber gains, having 2 million followers, these are vanity metrics, and so does the view count. So they should take that all away, but that's for the creator to keep them hooked, to keep them chasing for more, gamifying it. You heard that term, right? And so you're seeing it, she's like, I don't want to do it. She has 2 million followers. And she's like, yeah, this is why I left. And now she became a real estate agent. That's why there's so many real estate agents in the world of YouTube, because they need to supplement their income somehow. And then you can go to Southwest Florida, you talk to one real estate agent. Then you go to South Florida, you talk to another one. They all do YouTube, trying to be on top of that funnel, so they kind of lead you down that path. But yeah, this is the world we're living in, because making crazy money on YouTube, those were the days in like 2004, 2008, where it just kind of started and brands were so hungry to like get more exposure, and if you were on the platform, you were posting regularly. It wasn't all saturated, and so you can go out and make a decent living. Now, when everybody on their phone, you can just click upload and it's done, it becomes harder and harder. And this is always what I tell people. If you want to get into any industry, if you want to get into the trash pickup business or whatever it is, the lower the barrier to entry, the more competition you have, right? And if you're going to start selling satellites or something else, and you're like, I'm going to start a satellite company, the barrier of entry is so high that the competition's not, or there's not a lot of it, because you need to go fundraise, you need to go do all these other things in order to then do it. But if you're like, you know what, I want to become an influencer, they're a dime a dozen. I am so easily replaceable, it's not even funny. But that's just how the world of influencing works. The world on YouTube, the world on just social media, it's so short-lived. And I think everybody's kind of chasing this woman that I'm going to show you in a little bit, because she just came out and said, you know, I had my biggest month yet. And then people think, oh, that's achievable. Oh, that's aspiring. Let's go. Let's do that. And then when you're in the shoes of it, like actually doing it, you're like, oh, that was a dream. But let's watch it.
My husband and I just had our biggest income month in our entire lives. We earned $32,200, and this is 10 times what I used to take home as a public high school teacher work. So let's break down our multiple sources of income. I work full-time, and my full-time take-home pay after taxes, insurance, 401k, HSA contributions is $4,553. I also work part-time as a math tutor, and it was a pretty busy month, but my hours have been decreasing as I've started to pick up more work with social media. So I only brought home $1,230 from tutoring. For my social media, I earned $23,242. $17,000 of that was a payout for 2 brand deals. $223 of that was from Facebook, and the remaining $5,800 or so is from views from TikTok. For digital products, I earned $192 selling spreadsheets. And then for my husband's social media, he earned just over $3,000, making our family's total for the month of May $32,231. And because of how I have divided my LLC and my income, I will not be budgeting all $32,000. Instead, we have chosen to pay ourselves $6,000, and we will be using that to cover our budget for gym. If you can't tell, I'm a little shell-shocked. I knew this was going to be a big month because of the brand deal payouts, but I was not expecting it to be this big.
So yeah, so she made basically all her money with her day job and 2 brand deals. And so now, when you're like, you know, the economy's good and these brand deals are constantly coming in, all of a sudden you're like, you know, this is totally doable. I can make a killer living with this. But then that's not reality. You gotta take into account how much she worked. How lucky did she get to get these brand deals? Did she network? How long were they in the pipeline? Were they saying like, yeah, that can happen, and then it didn't? But yeah, these are the numbers that people aspire to. And you've seen Monica Church talk about, oh, at my peak I was making $500,000 a year, and now it's all the way down. Now I make like $1,000, and that seems about right. You got to look at the average. You can't take these one-off months that are like, oh my gosh, I just made so much money, because you can have one viral video get 200, 300, 400,000 views, and then all of a sudden you bring in $800, $900, $1,200, $1,500, or even more depending on what happens, and then some brand says, you know what, let me sponsor you, and all of a sudden you're making a few grand a month. But this is not that common, and this is probably the exception to the rule. You're seeing it, 1.6 million followers is just a horrendous amount of YouTubers or YouTube accounts that they're looking at like, hey, let's see what she's doing, and then only getting like 50,000 views per video. That means YouTube pushes it out to almost none of her followers, and that is just life. So you have to figure out what's going on. How do I position myself? And that's why I said earlier in the video, you sell your own product or you become a realtor of some sort in order to kind of make it. Because if you can then sell like, hey, you want to work with me, and then all of a sudden you get them to send you a DM and you start looking for houses and you get them pre-qualified, there's money involved in all types of ways and forms, right? Then when the house closes, you get a bigger paycheck. But yeah, this is the world that we're living in. We're living in a world of vanity metrics, and people think, oh, you got 100,000 subs, you should be making pretty decent money. I've seen people with 100,000 subs not bringing in $500 a month. So having a nice YouTube account where you see that doesn't necessarily mean they're bringing in the dough. So yeah, this is the life of the influencer. I would basically say it's almost the downfall of these mega creators that had these booms over the last few years, where every video they've done were just massive hits, and then everybody kind of copied the content. Everybody kind of did their own style of that, and then all of a sudden there's only so many houses you can see. There's only so many different spreadsheets you can do till your audience gets tired of it. I think there's a bunch of creators with 500,000 YouTube followers that are pulling in 10% or less of their views now on their channel. And yeah, this is how it's going in the realm of social media. It's competitive as hell, and you can't count on it because you're not in charge of the platform. If you are in charge of it and you're like, you know what, I'm going to sell a Substack, I'm going to sell something else, then yeah, you're in charge of it. But if you're not, then you're like, they can just delete my account, they can just turn down the faucet, or they can copyright strike me, or they can say, you know what, I don't want this anymore. And the funny part is in the world of YouTube and whatnot, you've seen other creators take a whole bunch of TikTok videos. So if YouTube then says, at one point be like, we don't want TikTok videos in our videos, there's channels that would go dark overnight. At least I could kind of do something else with news articles or something else. But there's other channels that solely rely on reaction videos, and those people are going to have it really, really hard. And so what happens is YouTube might just come out and say, nope, TikTok sued us, or they're taking away us from the platform or something. We don't want these TikTok videos in our YouTube. And then all of a sudden they're done, and then I can't show you these videos. I have to come with something else. But that might be a possibility when they see that it gets too saturated, too many reaction channels or something else, and then all these people, the revenue from maybe $500,000 a month goes to zero overnight. Because then you got to pivot, and whether you're going to sit in front of a microphone saying, yeah, this guy with the car lending is insane. No, you can't do that. So you got to make sure that you're diversified, that you have enough leverage with your audience that you can keep your audience if they dethrone you, if that's your business. If you're just doing it for fun, you could say, you know what, I had a fun ride and they deleted my channel, so I'm done. That's what I would probably do. I just say, you know, I had a fun ride, it was nice, but kind of over it, and you move on because you're not relying on the money. So that's also a thing where Monica Church said it takes her so much time. People don't see how much time it takes on the back end, and then not getting any tractions. You're like, phew, that is a total gut punch. But yeah, this is the world of just economics. So, you know, you gotta do a good enough job. You gotta think what they want and then anticipate it, and then kind of go out and try to fulfill on that promise. So yeah,
To
it's
kill is my
very
duty,
interesting.
but that does not
And I think we're gonna
preclude
see a
my
real shift
joy.
here with all these legacy creators who aren't making enough money on YouTube, so they gotta go back to work. And I know somebody that works at my dentist's office. He has like 500,000 TikTok followers and like 1 million Instagram followers, and he does like interviews with I think strippers or something like it. And he said they constantly demonetize him. He sees how he has like an insane amount of views, insane amount of stuff, but then they just say this video because of something. They're like, nope, we ran ads on your stuff, but you know what we're gonna do? We're not gonna let you keep the money. We're gonna say this is a guideline violation. And so he said it's almost not worth it because he's not in charge of the platform. So yeah, you gotta look at these things before you go into it. But yeah, this is today back in Santa Cruz. Today's a nice day. The sun burned off all the fog. I walked by the ocean, so this is Santa Cruz, California, because people are like, where are you? It's so foggy. I'm back in Santa Cruz. I'm trying to get my steps in, but yeah, I'm trying to work off my barbecue from the past few days. There's a Corralitos meat market down like 15-20 minutes down the road here, and they make those amazing sausages. If you ever had them, oh goodness, it's just to die for. So I had that the other day, and yeah, now I'm gonna go back, edit this video, and then yeah, keep working for the day, analyze some deals that they sent me over to buy some more real estate. But yeah, the world is crazy when you look at these YouTube people, you look at these Instagrams, you look at these Instagram followers and these vanity metrics, and people are like, that's nice. It's almost like these vanity metrics are just like driving a nice car. It's kind of nice to have. You get some bragging rights, and for people who aren't in the industry,
No enemy in my sight shall
that
go
aware of it, are
unpunished.
just like, man, you got that. That's nice. But at the end of the day, it doesn't do you any good. It's just like driving a really nice car that you finance to the hills to. It's like, oh, it's kind of nice to have, and it's like, oh man, he must be doing really well because of you got this nice car, but it's like you're sweating every month trying to make the payments because you just can't do it, and you over leverage yourself. It's almost like the same thing. But yeah, this is the world that we are now living in, and it's been created to our fault by us because we click on it, we watch it, and if creators have to switch and do something else, it's us all watching it and doing stuff. So yeah, this is the world, the environment we somewhat created. And thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you guys think about this, and yeah, I can give you one more thing before I let you go. If you take the subs, like the subscriber count, you divide it by how many views they got, and then you see how much of their audience is actually still watching it, and then you take that amount and you say like 70% or almost 50 are just watching that one topic, and 50% of those guys are actually just interested in the topic, not 50% of those are actually just watching as they're interested in this topic,
The stars
not
serve.
the creator, because not everybody that watches my videos is subscribed. So yeah, that's why I stopped asking, hey, subscribe, as if at the end of the day it doesn't really matter, and at least to me, because it's all just vanity metrics. If you want to play the game, that's right, but for me, like, nah. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. And I appreciate you guys walking with me in California today, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
The stars serve. The stars serve.
It is done.
Indeed I am.
Grand Vizier.
But Varg? My Vargard, the Royal Guard has engaged Hecame's warriors, as the Nemesaur commanded.
I relayed Hecame.
Vargard, while my research...
As ever.
I would have you conduct...
Such a tug.
So much.
In obedience. Ready. In readiness. In readiness. The battlefield changes, yet we must be constant. The dynasty stands. Ready to command. What wills the court? The battlefield changes, yet we must be constant. The battlefield changes, yet we must be constant.
tomb is preserved by Vargard, the enemy thrown hence in disarray.
As it should be. Grand Vizier, I report our task complete.
I am in need of distraction.
I have witnessed
The humans were
my choice.
a shame.
And what?
Do not mention.
Then I stand ready.
Like when people...
Hey guys, Maven here. Now, it's been well documented on this channel that I'm not the biggest fan of Triple H.
This hates Triple H. Listen to what he's saying.
You're shitting me, right, Hunter?
No.
You're talking about personal feelings from friendships and sometimes askew up and
But things have gotten a little out of hand, so I'm here to set the record straight. I'm gonna share why I take shots at Triple H, give my honest opinion on the man inside and outside of the ring, and how I feel he is doing today as Chief Content Officer at WWE.
How about you? Just allowing the whole business, the athleticism, the pain, the fame, the glory, want to get laid.
My first interactions with Triple H were exactly what you saw on Tough Enough Season 1. It was brief, it was intense, and as quickly as it began was as quick as it ended. There was no filler, no fluff that you guys didn't see. So the first time I would actually be introduced to Triple H wouldn't come until after I was assigned WWE wrestler. The man I would later meet once I was on the road was completely different than the man I saw as a Tough Enough contestant. The Triple H I met was actually very engaging, very disarming, dare I say charming, and he even congratulated me on winning Tough Enough. In fact, the Triple H that I was now colleagues with was 180 degrees different than the man who made sure we were all in the wrestling business for the right reasons. The man who threatened us with how the life of a wrestler is truly lived. The Triple H that I met backstage, I felt like he was in my corner. I felt like he was happy I was there, and I felt like he was there and would help me in every way possible. In fact, Triple H would be the man who provided me with my first ever pair of wrestling boots. Wrestling boots, again, are not cheap. So when he gifted me that very first pair of boots, I took that as a token of support. Early in my career, I would be under the tutelage of the game even more on the main event of SmackDown when he and I tagged against The Undertaker and Kurt Angle. Going into this match, To say I was nervous would be a complete understatement. I was backstage, again, wondering why I decided to become a professional wrestler, wondering how to bottle these nerves up and somehow find the ability to go out and perform. And I found Triple H to be a North Star, to be someone I could go to, review the match over with. He was someone that definitely helped ease my nerves. He told me he would be out there and reminded me that we were tagging together. And under no circumstances was he going to look bad. And by default, I was going to then look good thanks to him. In this early match, he never asked me to do anything I wasn't comfortable with. And he made sure that we both found success that night. In fact, that entire first year of my career, I felt comfortable going up to Triple H and did so on a weekly basis. I would ask him questions about wrestling. I would pick his brain here and there. I felt like we were developing a little bit of a kindred spirit, a little bit of a friendship, dare I say. In fact, before they debuted what would become Evolution, I even pulled Triple H to the side, and knowing the scuttlebutt backstage, knowing that those four men were going to form a faction, knowing it was going to be the early 2000s version of the Four Horsemen, I even offered up a name to Hunter. I told him, hey, why don't you guys call yourselves the Regulators? And he politely told me, yeah, well, I think we got a name already picked out, and he even thanked me. And he didn't have to do that, but he did. My relationship with Triple H that first year was more teacher-student oriented. And I admit, it was one half. I did want to get better. I did want to learn wrestling. But the other half was, I knew this man had the keys to the kingdom. I knew where my bread was buttered. And hey, I'm definitely not too proud to admit there was a little bit of ass kissing, a little bit of brown nosing in there with every question I asked the game. In fact, one thing you might not know about Triple H, and it's definitely something that I admire in people, the man is funny. He has a quick wit. He's great with one-liners, and he has a very big sense of humor. Not many things offend him, and he is definitely one to be in on the joke, and many times be the one providing the joke. You might be shocked to find out that the relationship I had with Hunter on day one was the exact same relationship I had with Hunter on my last day in the WWE. What did change, however, was my trust I had in Triple H. And I wasn't the only one. Yeah, guys backstage, guys at the ring, everybody was in his face, laughing, smiling, talking with the man. But they were also trying to better their spot on the card. They were trying to make sure their jobs would remain the next time Vince had his next round of cuts. But guys knew, guys felt, and guys would talk about how Triple H was meandering his way into Vince's good graces. Guys would constantly question his relationship with Steph. I'm never gonna be the determining factor of love, whether it does or does not exist. It's not my job. But I do know the definition of the word convenience, and that was a convenient relationship for Hunter. What I do know is Vince McMahon owned the WWE, and Stephanie's placement at her father's side made it mighty convenient for Triple H. Now, something I will always respect about Triple H is that he took his job seriously. He trained and carried himself like a professional. The older I get, the more I understand that you can get away with a lot when you're young. Now, there are a lot of supplements out there making big promises, but these days, I actually watch what I put in my mouth. That's where Zaply T1, the sponsor of this video, and Guys Buy Home every Tuesday, That was how it was week after week. Well, the company decided to have Triple H's bachelor party on a Tuesday night in a North Carolina strip club, and they conveniently made sure our flights were for Wednesday.
All shall burn.
We had to go. And I can't remember anyone not showing up. Why? Well, of course I was there because I like strip clubs, but most of the guys were there because they just didn't want to be the one that didn't show up to Triple H's bachelor party. Well, actually there was one guy that didn't show up. Who would that guy be? Triple H himself. We were in the club the entire night, and Triple H would show up the last 20 minutes before closing time. Now, I don't know how many guys would have came to his bachelor party if they would have just extended an invitation, but I guarantee you, and I know for a fact, it would not have been as many as they had, since they were flying us out the next day. Hell, he didn't even want to be there. Why the hell would I want to be there? Now, my trust level with Triple H would start to wane over time. I would notice that he would make little snide comments here and there, and I'm certainly one for a joke. Hell, I like being the butt of some jokes, but you can always tell when someone is making jokes about you or if they're making jokes to you, when they're trying to tell you how much respect they do or do not have for you. And his jokes would always err on the side of just making sure I knew my place in the wrestling business. And it wasn't just backstage, it wasn't just in snide comments. He did it on TV as well. And I would have people backstage tell me that they saw exactly what I was feeling. And I can even cite a specific example where Triple H wielded his backstage clout to degrade me on air. But we'll get to that later. I didn't know this during my time in the WWE, but I would have it confirmed years after my wrestling career had ended from someone who was actually in those production meetings, someone who went to bat for me, that every time my name was brought up, it was quickly squashed back down. And who was the one doing the squashing? None other than Triple H. If people thought, hey, here's a good idea, here's a good direction that we can send Maven on, here's something that we think he can find success doing, it would quickly be diminished. Nah, he's not ready. He's not there yet. He needs a little bit more time, a little bit more seasoning. And I'm not saying Triple H was wrong. He wasn't. I did need more time and I wasn't ready. But I also know that there's been other people with the same skill level of me, and they did get that extra boost, that extra push. It's just hard to get that push when someone is constantly pulling you back, and that someone has the ear of Vince McMahon. Finding out after my WWE career had ended that what I initially thought was indeed true, it hurt. And it bothered me for a while. And so that's why if you ever see me taking what looks like pot shots at the man, that's probably my reasoning. That's definitely some of my reasoning behind it. I'm far from a perfect person, and sometimes it's hard knowing exactly where my abilities ended and where someone putting their thumb on the scales started. I in no way, shape, or form blame Triple H for my career arc, but it just does hurt sometimes knowing that he indeed was weighing in not on my behalf. At this point, all of this, it's ancient history. It happened over 20 years ago, and I have let go of any bitterness that I once had. In fact, the handful of times I've seen Triple H since my departure from the WWE, it's always been cordial and it's always been friendly. And when he tells me he hopes I'm doing well, I actually believe him, and I hope he knows I feel the same way. But Hunter's Roll, It's now changed since my day. He is now the chief content officer at WWE, meaning he basically controls the whole show. The job that used to be held by Vince McMahon, it is now Triple H's. And some might say that's the prize he had his eye on the whole time. Now, I've said it before, I will say it again. I do not routinely watch WWE programming, but this channel has gotten me back into the mix a little bit. So, how is Triple H doing these days? Well, it's a mixed bag. The positives I see these days, talent have a lot more options. They can pursue other ventures, they can build their own brand, and that was something that during my time was definitely not going to happen. Vince owned you, and you thanked him for it. On a similar note, under Triple H's leadership, the WWE, it's way more open to working with other companies. Vince always viewed other companies as the enemy, enemies that he wanted to squash, enemies he wanted to take over. Under Triple H's leadership, they are working with TNA, and NXT, it is flourishing. Hunter is also not afraid of adapting. In my time, if my entrance took longer than 30 seconds, I would get an ass chewing. And today, all entrances are such an integral part of the characters and you, the fans. Most of all, Hunter has helped to foster a new backstage element. They're trying to eliminate a toxic environment backstage and trying to be more open and aware of the mental health of their wrestlers, and I see that as a positive. I also give Triple H credit on giving wrestlers more time to tell a story in the ring. During my time, an average wrestling match might take 6 minutes, and nowadays wrestlers are given double that time. And that just helps with putting your match together, and it helps the wrestlers showcase what they're capable of. But it hasn't been all sunshine and rainbows. One issue I have with today's product, and I've talked about it at length in the past, is just how choreographed and how scripted matches look these days. It looks more like a dance than a wrestling match, and it breaks Al Snow's #1 rule: this is a fight. Well, no part of wrestling looks like a fight anymore. It all looks pre-rehearsed. Additionally, the orgy of advertising has gotten out of control. You cannot watch the program without being bombarded with what you need to buy, what services you need to sign up for, or who should deliver you dinner. And it's ridiculous. It also destroys the flow of the show. As a viewer, you want to feel relaxed. You want to actually invest your time in the product. And you can't do it. It's difficult because as a match is going on, they are going to cut to commercial. And I get it. Hunter is just a cog in the TKO wheel, but he's also the top of the food chain. And head is the head that wears the crown. But my biggest critique of the Triple H era is the overall lack of excitement. I remember during the Monday Night Wars, it was unthinkable to miss Monday Night Raw. And everybody was out the next day regurgitating Stone Cold Steve Austin's lines or asking, did you see that promo The Rock cut? It was the funniest thing I've ever seen. Today, it's very easy and sometimes preferable to miss wrestling altogether. And I get it. We consume content different, and we all like our bite-sized chunks of information. But I ask myself, if those stars of the latter year were in today's business, would you not watch? I know I still would. Now, I know you guys like to highlight anytime I go at Triple H, and that's perfectly fine. I hope you keep doing it. God knows I'm gonna keep doing it on my end. But the truth is, I pull for Triple H. I want Triple H to be successful, both in wrestling and in his personal life. He did make me a better in-ring wrestler while also making his presence known backstage. But the truth of the matter is, to do what I have grown to love, this I need Triple H to be successful. So Hunter, best of luck to you. Now, earlier I mentioned where Triple H tried to humiliate me and keep me in my place on live TV. Well, I have a video breaking down that entire encounter. And to watch it, click the video on screen.
Biotransference cost us everything, but I do not miss the unreliability of the flesh. The dynasty stands. What wills the court? The dynasty stands.
You know the rules. Guess the cup correctly and walk away with the jewel of Jahari.
He's not even doing it fast. Alright, it's the middle, but I'm guessing there's a cheat.
The enemy has fallen back, my Vargard.
I don't understand.
Only one battle.
Are you fuck? You guys like the yellow paint already? We're literally 5 seconds into the game. Can I run this guy over?